Hi.
We're on Kuf Mem Gimel, 143.
Yeah.
Karkish Beresha Be Midrasha. He, in the base Medrash, he shaked his head to agree with me. Azal Gabe, Rav Yirmiyah went to Ravin. Amar Lay, that the reason for Rav Avo, Ilu Amar Lay, if the father said to his older son, Knei Kechamor Mikani, that acquire this like a donkey. Would it be koine?
That's pushing, right? I mean,
So it's similar to if he said, I'm going to give it to sons that haven't been born yet, since you can't give a matana to somebody that's not here, it does, the matana to the older son didn't work either. Where do we see this? The Itmar. Kani kechamor. If I say here, acquire this like a chamor would acquire, loy kana. There's no, chamor doesn't have a kinyan. But if he says, at v'chamor tiknut nechosai, you and this chamor will acquire my asset. So that's already a machloek. That whatever was given, in Mario, you have to mute your, because we can hear the background. We can hear you in the background. Rav Nachman Amar Kana Mechza. That which was given to the guy, he's koine. Rav Nun Amar Lo Amar Klum. Since he combined it with a kinyan that doesn't make sense, the whole kinyan doesn't make sense. Rav Sheshes Amar Kana Akol. That he acquires everything. Because you can't give the chamor gift, so he gets everything. Rav Sheshes, how do I know this? The Tanya. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Ein lechamar bekishus elepnimi shabo. Sometimes, like a cucumber or a radish will be very bitter, the inside of it, and you can't use it for truma, but you don't know which cucumber is good or not, who's going to be bitter on the inside. Leficha kishu toiret, if he's going to give truma from cucumbers, moisif alachitzon shabo, you have to add a little extra. The toiret. Freit gemara amai. Now, why isn't it ad v'chamrohu? If the inner chelek is bitter and it's not royal truma, so how is he being yotze the chayev of truma? Shani also the midaraisa truma ma'asahi, because midaraisa, even a small amount, is good. The Chacham says you have to be toirim in a mufchar. So it's not considered adding something with something that's not roy at all. It is roy midaraisa, it's roy. You shouldn't do it. But if you give bad produce as truma, it's a good truma. Shnemar, v'lo tisu alav chet, don't have a sin, when you give truma. Imena kadosh. If the truma didn't become truma, nesius chet lama, why is he having a chet? Here's the proof that using bad produce for truma, you shouldn't do it, but if you do it, it's still truma. Earlier, Ravashi. Masav Ravavya Tiyufta. From this thing about at v'chamor, that the guy's not coin anything, from the following case. Ma'asav v'chamish nashim. 5 women, ubehen shtei achayos. There were 2 sisters. V'likek echad kakala shel te'enim. And she picked up a basket of figs. V'shelahen aisa. It was a field that belonged to these women. B'shel shviyas haisa was shmita. Therefore, the te'enim are hefker. Whoever picks it up, they acquire it. The Omar are kulchen mikdoshes libika kolazu. A man gave to these 5 women this basket of figs, and he said, all of you will be, I'm giving you all kiddushin with this. One of them acted as a shaliach on behalf of all of them to accept kiddushin. Amr chachamim ein achayos mekudashos. Right? You can't minator. You can't be makadosh 2 sisters at the same time. So the 2 sisters are not mekudosh, but the other 3 are. Right? Achayos ushtei mekudashos who, but nachrios, the 3 sisters. Excuse me, the 3 women that were not sisters mekudashos v'amai at the chamor. It's like trying to give a gift to Chaim Yankel and Chamor, where the guy said, "Oh, you don't acquire it at all because just like a Chamor can't acquire, the whole Kenyon's not good." So here as well, why don't we say since the kiddushin for the 2 women didn't work, it shouldn't work for the rest of the women? Amar lei, Hainu de Chazoy Ravuna Baravia Bechalma. Ravuna saw this in the dream. The Moisef Ravavia to Yufta that Lav mi ukimna de Omar haruuya mikem lebiyat iskadeshli, because the man said, "Those of you who are roy lebiyah should be makadosh," but the 2 sisters are not roy lebiyah because he can't have biyah with both of the sisters, so it's not the same case of at v'chamor. Hahu de Omar lo l'dvisu. A man said to his wife, "Lech ulivnech, I'm giving you my assets, and to you and to my son." Rav Yosef, konsumertze, the woman acquires half, although he didn't specify half. So if he says lach ulivnayich, it means half. Menami, Rav Yosef Menami. How do I know this? The Tanya, Rabbi Oimer. When after a week, the lechem aponim was removed from the shulchan, v'aisala ronavano, the kohanim eat it. Mechzel Aaron, mechzel Abanav. Even though it says Aaron Uvanav, half of the lechem aponim goes to Aaron, half goes to the other kohanim. So if you say, "I'm giving you my wife and my children," means half goes to the wife. So the Gemara says, "No, bishma hasam by lechem aponim, Aaron bar chaluku. He is roy for a chelet. He's a kohen. Lachi parpe rachman lemishkol palke." It mentioned him, especially to show us that he had a greater schus to get even half. But Isha, when the man said nechasei leichel levnei, normally a wife doesn't inherit the husband. Isha lav bas yerushahi. Dai shetito kech v'rabonim. It would be enough if she got like one of the brothers, like one of the children. Why would we give her half? The Gemara says, "Eini v'hal uvda hava ben arda." There was a case where somebody gave a matana to Chaim Yankel and to other people. Vagmei Shmuel palga, and Shmuel collected on for one of them a half. Bitveri va'agver Rav Yochanan palga. One went to Shmuel, one went to Rav Yochanan. The Su and another kasha kiyas Rav Yitzchak bar Yosef Omar hahu to make klila deshadu bemalka abuli v'istugri. The money that's some kind of tax that the Caesar wanted to collect from the city and from the people that were wealthy in the city. Amar Rabbi Nisfu Abuli Palga Vistrugi Palga. The mayor of the town and the government give half, and the wealthy people give half. Same thing. So if you mention 2 people in one thing, you give each one half. Gemara says no proof. There's no comparison. Also, mikarki avukasvi, abulav kasvi. when they were writing the original tax, they would write, it was the government people. The wealthy would help them. The Melech would know that they help. Now that they wrote the Ferush, that I'm collecting the tax on the government and on the wealthy, it's a change in the normal process. Must be here, he's mamish going to get half from the wealthy, but not in the other case. Mosif Rav Zera. Ha'omer harei mincha demea isara. I'm going to bring a mincha with 100 isaron flour. Lahavi b'shnei kelim. And I'm going to bring it in 2 kelim. Maybe shishim b'kli echad, v'arboim b'kli echad. You cannot bring more than 60 in one kli, because then it doesn't mix with the oil. But maybe chamishim b'kli echad, chamishim b'kli echad yotza. If you brought 50 and 50, it's okay. It may be in, but l'chadchila lo. Really want to bring 60 and 40. That whenever you mention, I'm giving a gift to 2 people, it's always 50-50. So it should be paga upaga. It should be 50-50 even l'chadchila. So the Gemara says, you can't bring me a raya from this menachos. Everyone understands that by saying, I want to bring a mincha of 100 isaron, the korban gadol kumachavin, he wants to bring a big korban. The fact that he mentioned, I'm going to bring it in 2 kelim, mishum diyadash lo efshar lasui b'kli echad. He can't bring 100. So the maximum is 60. But other cases, it's 50-50. In 3 inyan. Besadeh, which is a case in Bava Basra Daf Yud Beis. In inyan, Bava Basra Kuf Yudal. Ubemechza, that if you give to 2 groups of people gifts, it means 50-50. Ahuda shara piski d'shira lebesei. A person sent silk to his home as a matana. Oravami aru'in lebig devanim, those that could be made into clothing for the boys, lebanim. Haru'in lebanis, the textile that's good for girls, nitar lebanis. V'lo amar nonetheless like kalasa, as long as there's no kala. Aval islikasa lekasa shari, he was sending it to the bride. V'bante lo nasibim, or if the daughters were not married yet, lo shavik bante v'shari lekalase. Oh, kala means his daughter-in-law. Means he's selling it to the daughter-in-law. But if he has his own daughters, he wouldn't overlook his daughters and go to the daughter-in-law. Hahuda Amrluhu, a person gave a tzava, l'chasei livnoi, I want my assets to go to my children. Havale bro Bart, he had a son and a daughter. Mikori inshul bro benoi, do you refer to one son as my children? And he means let's look at the Bart Mishra, and he's trying to cut the daughter out of the normal 10th of the assets that she gets for her nadan. You don't say children if you only have one son. He's trying to include the daughter. Uvnei dan chushim. V'nei means plural. So the children of Dan was chushim. But chushim is only one person. So from here you see that even from one ben you call plural. Maybe it's the way we learn in the Dvei Yechizkiah that Shahayu merubin kechushim shokana, that Dan's children were so many, they were like groups of reeds. And that's why they use the plural benoi. Lamarava ubnei palu Eliyav. And Eliyav is only one person. Rav Yosef Omar, what do you mean? uvnei eitan azarya, which is also plural for one person. Uda amar lahu, a person said in the tzavah, nechasai livanoi, my assets should go to my children. Or banoi is like plural for my sons. Havale bro barbarta. He had a son and a grandson. Karu in shilabar bra bra. Do people call grandchildren sons? Oh no. Rav Chiva Amar Karu in shilabar bra bra. We do call grandchildren sons. Mar bar Vashem lo karu in shilabar bra bra. We don't. Tani kavos mar bar Vashi. Hamudra hanoami bonim. Mutter b'nei bonim. So if you take a neder, I'm not going to have hano from sons. You're allowed to have hano from grandsons. Mishnah. A person died, left adult sons and minor sons. The adult sons increase the value of the assets. When they divide the Yerusha, they divide it with everybody. Imamru, if at the beginning the older children says, let's make an accounting. This is what our father left. Hare anu oisim. We are going to do work on behalf of the joint estate. But we're going to get paid for what we have to do. So yishbich latzman. The profits go to them. Similarly, if the woman made no stipulation beforehand, and the woman, when the husband died, she runs the estate and it goes up in value, they all share. But this is what was left to me. And now from now on, I'm going to get profit. That's when they had to invest of their own money, or they used money that belonged to the Yerusha to improve it. And it's just the management that then it divides le'emtza. But they invested their own money or their work, so everybody agrees that they get paid for that work. The Gemara says it's not so. This we'll have to explain tomorrow.
By the way, Ernie, so the shayla that I asked you yesterday about women not inheriting, and if you look, they paskin like Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef says she gets half, and the other children get the other half.
Yeah, this is the language of when I say I want my wife and my children to get. So how do we define? So here we went through this whole analysis. It means 50-50.
Yeah, but it means 50-50 because of the lamed. Because the other people argue with that. Because they say, how can it be? It can't be that he's giving half to the woman. She doesn't even inherit. But because it's the same lotion that they used by the Kohanim, exactly the same. The lamed, if you don't...
Yes, a lot like by the
Kohen Gadol,
by the Lechem HaPonim.
Because it's la and lahem.
La'aron u'levana.
And because he used that same, if he was not to use that same lotion, I was listening to Shir today, if he was not to use that same
then it
lotion,
wouldn't be 50-50.
It wouldn't be 50-50. It's just because of the lamed. Just to show you what lotion is so important. How you say something is so important. Okay, shkoyach.
Okay, Scott. So just tomorrow's Daf Yomi will be 7, and the Nach will be at 8.
Mario, you look very elegant, Mario.
I always look.
Ernie, see you later.